Well, hello, bonjour, beautiful people. Today I'm going to show you my workflow, and it's going to be an edit with me video where I show you all my tricks to achieve the best editing I can try to create for a full inspirated vibe type of look. The software I'm currently using is Lightroom. So this photo was taken with our professional camera, which is a Sony a7R III, been shot with 24mm lens. And also one detail, we shoot in RAW. We never shoot in JPEG. So the first thing I always do with my photos when I edit is to crop it. Why? Because Instagram, if you want to post a photo on Instagram, the format is 4:5. So I always shoot up straight, not in landscape position, in portrait mode, like this, upward. And then I'm instantly cropping it to 4:5, and I choose the good framing, and I actually like this one. The reason I do it is I don't want to waste time editing this up part and this bottom part. In this photo, it's not very important, but sometimes it just changed everything. If it's a portrait of me, or if I'm much more up close, or if there's something I need to clean up in the foreground, whatever it is, it's never going to show up on the photo. So there is no need of wasting time doing it. And it's also helping me choosing the proper photo I'm going to actually end up posting on Instagram. Something you want to keep in mind when you are shooting. Think about it. Think about the fact that it's going to be cropped, because sometimes you place the subject, I'm gonna virtually do it, but you place the subject over there, let's say, and if you end up having to crop further than this, your photo is gonna end up looking like this for Instagram, and yeah, you're gonna be in problem because your subject is gonna have cropped legs or something. So you wanna make sure you shoot wide enough so that even with the cropping, it's still going to look good. So whenever we shoot, we always make sure to think about this cropping for Instagram, okay? So now that I'm good with the cropping, ooh, I forgot, it's in the same place over there. Next to the cropping, we have the straightening tool. There's nothing worse than having a good photo that is not up straight. So I always try to straighten it. You can either do it manually by placing the mouse, like hover it off the photo, and it's gonna show you these little lines and you can try to do it. Or I have a much faster tool that I like to use, which is this little ruler. So what you're trying to do is you take this little ruler and you're gonna draw a line of the horizon and how straight this is. And I think this is looking pretty straight. Okay, and it's gonna automatically straighten the photo for me. Now, actually, I'm not really satisfied. I'm gonna take from that point and I'm gonna tell him that the horizon is actually like this. Okay, now my photo is straight and I can keep on editing it and I'm happy with it. Then the second thing I'm going to talk to you about is the actual editing. So let's jump into it. I created a few presets yesterday. They're not totally finished yet. I still need to test a few things, but there are some looks that I like over there. I think for this photo, I think I like this look already. I like this one. So I'm gonna start off with this because I like pretty much the majority of the photo. Then the first thing I do once I chose a preset is to try to change the temperature. So I'm gonna warm up the temperature of the photo and do it very gently until you have the result that you like. Okay, that I like. I don't think there is a problem with it being too pink or too green. I think the balance is good. I'm gonna see if it needs more or less exposure. I think around there is, yeah, around there is good, just a tiny bit. You see this guy? I was telling you earlier about having a RAW photo. Well, with a RAW file, you can actually lower the highlights, and I'm getting sky again. If it was a JPEG, I would be screwed. It would stay like that. I would not have these sky details. So yeah, it would be a shame. Now that I lowered the highlights, you can actually see that it was a little bit brighter. The photo in general was brighter and now it's less. So I'm gonna adjust it and balance it with adding a little bit of exposure, but really slightly. Okay, I'm gonna boost up the whites because I like this snow and I like a bright photo. Okay, now we're gonna try to tweak the colors. So I'm gonna first show you a tool that I use sometimes, and I'm gonna show you why I don't overly use it, which is called, if you scroll down right at the end, this is the calibration, okay? Calibration is changing the basic informations of colors on the photo. If I drop these blues to create the opposite color being more orange on my photo, look at the trees, everything is turning orange, okay? That's very easy to do. You can achieve a full look just like that, but I don't like it. I don't think it's looking very natural. I like something more realistic and I don't like cheating that much. So I am actually going to drop it a little bit just to create the basic information of the photo being a little bit more orange than it is at the moment, okay? But I'm not actually using this to tweak the colors on the photo. I don't like using this because it doesn't look natural for me. What I use instead is called HSL for hue, saturation, and luminance. This is basically telling Lightroom, I want my red tones to be in the orange side or to the green or to the pink side, whatever you want, it can change the colors. Demonstration. My preset is changing the green and the yellow tones to the orange and yellow side, okay? By the way, something important to know, most of the time when you shoot for landscape, what you consider to be green with your eyes, such as trees and grass, most of the time for Lightroom, this is yellow, okay? It picks up as yellow. So whenever you try to fix the greens in your landscape, try the yellow and you'll see you have much more results if you're trying to fix some trees or nature. You'll think about me. Okay, let me just show you if I cancel what is on my presets. Yeah, the trees are green, okay? They're actually greener than they were, okay, for sure. So I want to create a full effect. So I am dragging the yellow, because for Lightroom this is yellow, to the orange side, okay? And I can do it to the maximum. Here it's not a problem. I generally always try not having everything to the maximum. Yeah, in general it looks a little bit more natural if you don't overly boost any effects. This is good. I'm gonna try to see if the orange tones can be turned a little bit to the red side. And okay, the reason I'm gonna stop is look at my hat. That was before, which was I like this tone. And if I'm changing the orange, it's not looking good. Also, this is not going to work if you face the camera, because your skin is registered, no matter what complexion you are, is registered as orange. So if you start turning this to the red side, you might look like you're flushing a lot, okay? So I'm gonna try to see, yeah, around there is good enough for me, and then I'll just adjust it locally. The reds are looking, it's not changing much, huh? Yeah, just put them where they were, it's fine. Yeah, so for the HSL, I'm happy with it. I think we did a neat job so far. It's looking pretty natural. It gives me full vibes. What I'm gonna do now, I'm kind of done with the general editing. Now I am going to use the local adjustments, and this is where the fun parts come in, okay? The local adjustments are these tools at the top, right here. You have brush, you have radial filter, you have graduated filter. Gradual filter. I'm gonna start off with the brush because this is the funniest tool, okay? So on the brush, I select it right here, and you know you're in the brush menu because you can click end right here. If not, it means you're on the general setting of the photo. I'm going to always do it when you start off with a brush because you don't know what you did last time. Hold the Option key on the keypad and click on reset so that everything starts off to 0 again. I am going to, first off, add a little bit of exposure on the brush. And I'm gonna choose a size of brush about that size, or maybe smaller, like this. And I'm just gonna pad over some parts of the forest to bring a little bit of light on my trees. And I'm just gonna randomly, not fully randomly, mostly the parts where I wanna add some color afterwards are in the parts where I think it needs a little bit of light. Also think about lighting the reflection on the water, because it will look very fake otherwise. It needs to match what you see on the other side. I am going to choose new, so I'm clicking on new brush, and I can double click on exposure because this is just one setting I did to reset it. And now I am going to add a little bit of yellow on my brush. And I am going to go over some of the trees, and I can click numerous times on the same spot to add more color. And this is where the full vibe is coming. And you could not totally change a tree that is completely dark green, but you can definitely help and add more color to something that was already a little bit there. Okay, and time to time, whenever I'm doing a little bit of editing like this, I always like to compare with what I start from, because it's easy to build up on top of something you're already used to see. It's good to remember what it looked like in the beginning. So yeah, it's definitely going for a full vibe. I'm happy with it. With a new brush, and this time I'm just going to add for less yellow, but more saturation. And I'm gonna pad again, choosing maybe a wider brush, and I'm just gonna click wherever I've been before to intensify the colors, but locally. I'm not gonna boost the general saturation on the photo. I want it to look nice. Okay, so this is definitely giving me full vibe. I like it. I think it's looking natural. I can actually go back on some of the brushes I use. Just by clicking on it, it's gonna tell you which one it was and where you tapped, okay? So this one was the yellow. This one was the exposure. Okay, this one is bringing me more light. I'm going to add a bit more over there. So you can select again the brush you used and intensify some of the things you think that are missing. You don't have to add brushes on top of each other. You can just reuse the ones you liked or you used already and change a little bit of things. Next part I am going to take care of is adding contrast. And I especially like to do it at the bottom of the trees. Something I like to do then, edit the mountain, is to make it darker. Whenever you take a picture of a mountain, if there is not an amazing lighting, such as this photo, for example, I don't have the greatest light of all time, my mountain is looking very flat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a brush again, reset it, and I'm just gonna drop the shadows and the black slightly, and then we'll see what it does. And I'm gonna use a big brush, and I'm just gonna click on the mountain, reduce the size of the brush, please. And especially do it on the top of the mountain to make it pop in the sky and look like very contrasted. Doesn't mean you need to forget the bottom, but you insist on that. Something I also like to do is I'm gonna create a new brush and I'm gonna reset and I'm gonna desaturate. And I'm gonna turn it to the blue side a little bit, or yellow. No, blue is looking better. And I'm maybe not gonna desaturate it as much, but I want it to look icy and ashy. I am also on this mountain going to boost up the whites with a brush. Okay, now we're almost done up to here. What I'm gonna do is to use another local tool different from brush, which is the radial circle. Radial circle, and what I'm gonna do is two different things. I'm gonna fake an entrance of light on the side of the photo. I'm gonna create some fake fog. Taking this radial circle, dragging it on the photo, creating a circle about this size. Place it on the side of the photo and orient it like that. And then I'm gonna make it look bigger because I want it to be more natural. Okay, and I'm gonna lower it. Good. I like the placement. Make sure whenever you use a radial circle that this is set up to 100. This means the effect you're gonna put inside this circle is going to be to the maximum fading, and it's gonna make it look much more natural. And make sure this is ticked. You wanna invert what's going on. You want the effect to be inside the circle and not everywhere else on the picture beside the circle. So you click invert, make sure this is 100 activated, progressive fading, okay? And then I'm gonna add a little bit of exposure to this side. You see, and it's creating a little halo of light that I like very much. And I'm gonna place it as if there was some light coming in from that side of the valley. Then I'm gonna do the same type of process, but with a different effect. I'm gonna reset it to create a new one. And I am going to use the inversion of another tool that we have, which is called dehaze. The dehaze tool is usually used to remove fog on your photo and make it look more contrasted. While on this specific photo, I want to create the reverse. I want to create the illusion of fog coming to the photo. So I'm dragging a much more tiny circle, and I'm going to orient it right above the trees over there at the edge of the mountain. And what I'm going to do is to take the dehaze tool and actually place it on the haze side. You see that? This needs to be wider, otherwise it's not looking good. Okay, wider, just like that. It's giving me a fog effect. Do you see this? This is without, this is with the fog effects. I like it. Okay, I think it's looking neat. Let's just place it correctly. And I'm gonna right click on it, duplicate it. I'm gonna drag it and place it to the other side as well. What I'm gonna do is try to get the focus back to this part of the photo. I'm using the gradual filter. Make sure it's reset. And I'm gonna grab to the bottom to the top using something about that thick. And I'm gonna drop the exposure on that part. to make the bottom of the picture look with a nice reflection and very moody. I like it. Okay. And I am also going to see if it looks great using a radial circle, just like that big. And I'm gonna try to place it on me. And I'm gonna slightly boost the exposure just so that I pop out a little bit more in the photo, but slightly. Boom! Yeah, I think it's looking great. What do you think? That's my before and after. I actually like it a lot. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think it gives you full vibes and if you're in for it. And if you have any questions I didn't answer during this tutorial, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to help you. I wish you a very awesome day and I will see you very, very soon. Bye!